Morning, everyone. How's it going? It is Friday morning, and I have coffee and some time on my hands to just create and spend some time messing around now that the two maps I needed to get done immediately are off my plate. And then I'll be back to more cartography streams next week. So today I thought that we would do a little bit of world building. I'm kind of open to what suggestions. I was thinking that it might be fun to run you all through the trial of honor that I have prepared for my players to go through next. There's a possibility we may actually play for the first time in a few months tonight. So it would be good for me to review that work and just have that fresh in my mind and get any critiques that anybody cares to level at me. Or we could come up with an NPC or work on developing a culture. I'm super open to suggestions. Good morning, my Laura and my Dennis. Hello, friends. How are you? Chipper. Awesome. That's good. That is very good. So yeah, I'm wanting to do some world building today to take a break from the maps because the world has been just maps for the last little bit. Yeah, maybe. Here's hoping. We'll see what tonight brings. It's been... When was... August 2nd was the last time I prepped. July 27th was the last game we played. So it's been a while. Been a while. Video games are your escape right now, Laura? Yeah, I get that. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Sword the last little while. It's not the most involved game, but it's definitely low stakes, which is great because I need something low stakes in my life right now. Good morning, Pat. How are you, love? Crusader Kings from Paradox. That's been a blast. Right on. That sounds good. I don't know it. I'm not familiar with it. We got word yesterday that Latvia might be closing their borders. Dave is currently en route from Ontario to Iceland and then from Iceland to Latvia. So there's a possibility that they may not be able to land in Latvia when they get there. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. That's kind of been the little bit of stress in my day. Animal Crossing. I've heard good things about Animal Crossing, and all of the pictures that I see is that it's just so cute. Although something to do with turnips, like constantly something to do with turnips. So yeah, Dennis, it's really nice. I mean, this is the nature of everything right now, right? Very much a hurry up and wait kind of situation. So we will see what happens. I just feel for him because he had to be up at 200 for the bus trip to Trenton, and then they flew from Trenton at 400 or 600. I can't remember now. So, Joe, you're not getting video? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's showing that it's broadcasting video. Yeah, set up camp on the tarmac, indeed. Well, they're in the air now. It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to turn around once they hit Iceland or be allowed to land in Latvia. And who knows at this point. So we shall see about that. So I was saying earlier that I was thinking of running the trial of honor past you all and getting your critiques on it. Because if we do play tonight, that's what we're going to be going through. So it'd be good for me to review it anyway. You got Strennan and Shannon Ireland. Yeah, Dave passed through Ireland on his way home, and so that wouldn't surprise me, which was awesome. Did you actually get to deplane and like see a few things? Fixed it. Good job, Joe. Guinness and breakfast foods. Yeah, that sounds all right. No, that's what Dave said too, is by the time they got there, everything was locked down because of Corona, so there was no chance to really go out and see anything. Yeah, sounds great, Laura. Okay, awesome. Oh, pardon my yawn. So, all right. So the Trial of Honor. Tessarion, who is the song dragon that has recently been determined to be Arcus's mother, which has been a surprise for all of them, takes them to another of her lairs in the mountains. In it, 5 challenges wait to test the honor and courage of any who wish a boon from her. The peak looks like it is made of deep purple amethyst, sparkling when the clouds part and light shines off the surfaces. The first trial is the Trial of Valor and Courage. I think I pulled this one off of Reddit. Entering the cave, you approach a room with a 50-foot gap between the edge you are standing on and the edge you can see across the span, on which there is an iron-banded door. Suspended between the platforms is a bridge of translucent rainbow light as thin as a sheaf of parchment. If the PCs trust it immediately and walk across it without fear, it will hold them and bear them safely to the other side. If the PCs test whether it will hold their weight or are skeptical of it, they will pass right through it or fall. There is an outcropping of rock along the side that is 2 feet wide that they can use to bypass the bridge, but it takes 5 skill checks one every 10 feet, DC 18 dex, acrobatics if proficient, to get all the way around. If a player falls into the abyss, they will disappear, presumed dead, until the party discovers them at the end of the trial unconscious. If all players fail, they find themselves at the beginning of the trial 8 hours later. Then I have the Trial of Humility and Faith. Again, I think I pulled this one from Reddit. Crossing through the iron-banded door, you progress into a passageway with ghostly fire that erupts from the floor 40 feet long. To pass through the flames unharmed, they must remove their armor and walk naked through the flames. As each item is removed, it teleports to the far end of the hall. They can run through the fire, but will take 4d10 fire damage, which is 1d10 per every 10 feet of the hallway. If the damage is enough to kill one of them, they disappear in a blaze of light to be found unconscious at the end of the trials. I don't know how that one is going to go. I think I need some kind of clue here to cue them that they need to take off their armor, because otherwise I don't think they're going to. So let's maybe make a note here that we need some kind of clue. Maybe like a little bit of a riddle, or 5 of the same skill checks could be repetitive. Is there a way to mix it up? That's a good question. Mix it up, question mark. We will think about that after too. The fire, could it be a small animal passes through? Maybe with something on them that gets burned up, but the animal is fine. Okay, I like that. Perhaps a nude man gives the riddle. Yeah, that could be a thing. Or maybe there's freezes on the wall of people not wearing anything. Bare your soul and all that you know. You suck your riddles. Okay. All right. What kind of skill checks can we mix it up with for these acrobatics ones? Because I feel like that's going to inevitably be the way that they end up going. I just have the feeling. Um, Here's Mikey. Good morning, Mike. How are you? Drop your socks and grab. Perhaps not that one. Bad. So if we're going to change this from 5 skill checks to the DC 18 dex, do we want to maybe make it ascending DC checks, like as you get farther along? So maybe the first DC check is 10, the second one is 12, the third one is 14, the fifth one or fourth one is 16, and the fifth one is 18. Perhaps they get easier as they cross. Okay, that's an interesting idea. As they get more confident. Remind me. I know that I've heard him talk about it, but I don't recall it off the top of my head right now, Mike. Sorry, I'm being demanding. Could you please remind me if you can make it succinct? Easier to the middle and then harder from halfway on. I mean, that's an option too. I like it when people obey me. It's true. I'm not going to complain about that. Okay, 6 skill checks. Situation depending. Okay. Everyone can use 1 skill each roll. Okay. No skill repeated. Do the skills have to be relevant? I'm assuming you can't be like, I choose my animal handling on like a dex check. Okay. Okay, so I think that will work, but I think it may be a little more difficult because I have a party of 2. So for this particular challenge, there's 5 skill checks, which means that probably one of them is gonna do 3 and one of them is gonna do 2. Um, and that would get them both all the way across. 3 successes is a failure. 4 successes is a completion, 3 successes is a failure. Okay, that helps because then there's actually, like, more of a likelihood that this is gonna happen. Okay, need 4 successes. 3 failures is a fail. I do get the idea. Thank you. All right. It's already warm in here. Off with the sweater. All right. So we have that one worked out. So for the trial of humility and faith, crossing through the ghostly fire, to pass through the flames unharmed, they must remove their armor and walk naked through the flames. As each item is removed, it teleports to the far end of the hall. We were thinking either a small fey creature scampers past them wearing something that burns up, but the animal itself is fine. Patrick suggested bury your soul in all that you know as a riddle. I thought maybe friezes or paintings on the wall, showing people walking naked. Are, are any of those better than others in terms of clues? Is there something else we could come up with? I don't really want to put like something on the wall being like strip down, because I think as for the DC, make it based on the skill. Sorry, just saw that now, Mike. Yeah, okay, I follow. Dick pics on the wall. I mean, gotta be what you gotta be. I find that even more particularly funny because I don't know if you guys have been watching the second season of Critical Role, but there's a trickster cleric named Jester, um, who constantly is drawing dicks on everything. And it's part of like her worship of the traveler. And I just think it is so hysterical, that she's constantly like drawing dicks all over the place and like making little dick statues to leave in shrines. And it's just so funny. It makes me laugh. It's one of those things that you just never quite expected that to be like an act of worship. But then you think back to like the Shiva lingams in Hinduism and stuff like that, and you're like, never mind, this totally makes sense. People have been worshiping penises since like the dawn of time. Sounds like combat arms. Yes, how very Roman. Indeed, right? Indeed, indeed. Um, okay, so I'm gonna think about that one some more. We'll come back to it later. The trial of justice or generosity. Crossing through the door at the end of the fiery hallway, you enter a round room. The circumference is lined with 7 statues, each different. In the middle of the room is a table with a large emerald sitting on it. Each of the statues is as follows. There is a king in lavish clothing with an ornate crown, carrying a scepter in one hand and the other hand is outstretched. There's a sheep herder wearing a homespun tunic and leather breeches with wooden clogs. He's carrying a lamb under one arm, the other hand is outstretched. There's a noblewoman wearing court dress, elaborate jewelry, and carrying a delicately carved fan. Her other hand is outstretched. There's a knight wearing serviceable plate mail, feather-plumed helm, and carrying a solid-looking longsword. The other hand is outstretched. There's a beggar wearing a tattered dress and threadbare shawl, carrying an empty basket with the other hand outstretched. There's a merchant wearing a fine-looking frock coat, long pants, and shoes with large buckles. He's carrying a ledger in one hand and has the other hand outstretched. And there's a farmer wearing rough working clothes, a smock, and a straw hat, carrying a scythe against her shoulder with the other hand outstretched. Players have to examine the clothing and give the gem to the most needy. Giving the gem to the wrong statue deals 1d10 lightning damage from a powerful shock, and the statue crumbles. I don't think that one needs too much changing. I think they're going to figure it out pretty quickly, which is fine. And we wonder why they have big egos. Laura, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So for images, any of those will do. All right. I think I can use them all if they aren't quite getting it too. I can have more than one clue. I think maybe we'll start with the paintings on the walls because that's material to the environment. And the other ones can come into play later if we need them. That'll work. So yeah, this one I think they're going to get pretty easily. And then Trial of Mercy. Oh, sounds like a stand for behavioral study. How did you know where I was getting my inspiration from? You enter an empty chamber with a red tile floor. As soon as the door closes behind you, an explosion of ice and snow occurs in the middle of the room, and a menacing woman with white hair and ebony skin appears. It's a drow priestess of Lolth. She attacks by casting fairy fire on Daria. When defeated, if defeated, she begs for her life. If they spare her, the door on the other end of the room will open. If not, she reheals all hit point and fights them again. If they die, they disappear in a blaze of light to begin the gauntlet again. And basically, they have to fight her until they reach the conclusion that Mercy is the thing there. Have Uncle Joey there. I have not thought of that line or that show in so long. Way to bring that flashback, Mike. That's funny. So this one, I mostly just wanted there to be some kind of combat. Charles prefers to have some kind of fight whenever they can in these kinds of situations, just to use special powers and feel more cool and action hero-y. They had a situation recently in the Trial of Cleverness where they encountered what they thought was a skeleton entrapped in a floor of ice. And the skeleton talked with them, and in speaking with them, convinced them to let him out. And Daria melted the ice, casting fire for the first time in the entire game. She's avoided all fire spells up till now because she accidentally lit the sails of her ship on fire one day during a magic surge, and just about killed her crew, which has terrified her into never using fire spells again. So she used fire to free this skeleton, thinking that they were like freeing him and doing him a service. And as soon as he became loose, he turned into a Dread Knight and fought them. And Charles was like, this is what we get for thinking that there are good undead. There are no such thing as good undead, except that they totally know that there are good undead. So that was like a problem. Anyway, I do not know if they will go to Mercy with this. I think they may end up having to fight her like twice before they realize that that is the thing, because the first time I think they're just not going to trust her at all. And so I need to be prepared for the possibility that this goes very sideways at this trial. We'll see what happens. You're listening but driving. K, drive safe, Laura. Sexy plot point. So yeah, I think this one is pretty straightforward. It's just going to take them a little bit of time to figure out, and it'll be a resource management challenge because they don't want to blow all of their spell slots and stuff the first time around if they're going to have to fight her twice, but they don't know they're going to have to fight her twice. And then the final one that I have is the Trial of Sacrifice. In the center of this room lays an empty basin upon a switch with a small jug adjacent to it. Flanking the pedestal are two statues, one of Arcus and one of Daria. Each statue appears to be weeping. By filling the jug and placing the contents in the basin, they lose 1 attribute point from their main stat. For Arcus, his main stat is Dex. For Daria, it's Charisma. The basin contains 5 jugs of water when full. If they try to split the final jug evenly, give them fair warning that each of their stats will still be drained. Something along the lines of, even though a half measure of the water was taken, you feel as weak as you did before, for example. Tessarian meets them at the end of the gauntlet and tells them their results. If they pass, heals their attribute score losses completely. If they fail, heals by half rounded up. These tests leave. The stream's not broadcasting? Is that what you're saying, Michael? Pat's back. Okay. Back. Okay. It didn't give me any notice that it went down. So sorry about that. You have picture? Okay. Okay. Sorry, friends. Like, it doesn't even tell me when it goes down. Like, I just think it's broadcasting no issue on my end. I feel really bad that it's been inconsistent, though. No, it's probably not your fault. Not if it's happening for all of you at once. It's the ghost in the machines. Skynet. Well, that's good because I probably can't. Not only am I absolutely technologically impaired, I wouldn't necessarily know what to start if it's like an endemic issue to the system. Yes, please let me know so I can pause. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of for tonight. I think depending on how focused they are, they might get through all of this tonight. Or they might not. Kind of depends because we don't want to miss a thing. I love being sang to. I don't know if you know that or not, Mike. I absolutely love it when people sing to me. So, yes. So this is what I'm thinking. Thoughts, feedback? Discord sing along. That sounds like an excellent plan. I like this plan. Okay, cool. I'm glad you like it too, Mike. I feel a little bit nervous about springing something so complicated on them for a first game back after more than 2 months of not playing. I'm hoping against hope really that it feels immersive and draws them in and excites them instead of like intimidating them or overwhelming them. Because I don't want them to feel overwhelmed on the way back, but I don't know how to give them like an easy session with where they are in the game right now. It would be some kind of pandering. Yeah, offer meta breaks is a really good solution for that. Perhaps after fighting the person they must show compassion to, the monster demonstrates an instance of compassion to them between fights. Yeah, I think that's totally valuable too, Pat. Absolutely. Let's make a note of that. Hello, my Gary. How are you? Tuned in too late to offer comments, but wanted to wish you all tonight's session. Thank you. I really hope we get to play tonight. Like I said, I'm not really holding my breath for it, but I'd like to be prepared in case the eventuality actually occurs. Perhaps at first the monster asks if the party needs a moment to prepare for the fight, or if they are injured and need to rest. I don't think that'll work as well for what I want with the just surprise. I want them to be shocked. The rest of this dungeon is pretty quiet and they can kind of take it at their own pace. I want this one to feel urgent and like they don't have much of a choice except to engage. Does that make sense? Am I out of line there, or would it be better served if I changed that metric? Because part of this is they only have 24 hours to get through the test. Some of the consequences for failure have them teleported back to the beginning after 8 hours. So there's already the potential that if they fail the first couple more than once, they've lost a chunk of time. So there still needs to be like a particular imperative for them to get through. You're probably right. I was just envisioning the sword fight scene in The Princess Bride. I love that sword fight. That is one of my favorite sword fights in cinematic history. That whole movie, though, is just such a gem, honestly. I have a friend who can't stand it, and I think she's slightly broken. So I'm just like, Nick, how do you not like this movie? Nothing wrong with a sense of urgency? Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, there's an imperative to finish the quest because without finishing the quest, they can't get the Lyre of Building, and they want the Lyre of Building to achieve their objectives. So, like, that will keep them moving. But I want to try to switch up the pacing a few times within this to kind of create fast and slow and more urgency and less urgency just to keep it real. You DC'd. What is DC? Disconnect? Oh, it cut out. I'm sorry, Dennis. It's good now? Okay. Very funny, Gary. That's good. All right. So if they succeed and they get away from all of this successfully, then they have to go to the summer court, and Tessarion needs to get the Lyre of Building back from Rosamund, the Queen of Summer. Steph, hello, love. Glad you could make it. How's your morning going? What is Rosamond using the Lyre of Building to build? Because she has borrowed it for some reason. What is she building? Hanging out with the octos. Yay, breaks. Breaks are good. There is an incursion of demons coming into the Feywild. We know this because Agaton has been creating a backdoor into the Feywild through the Moonlight Court. But I don't know that Rosamond knows that. I think in her world, everything is still fine and there's no current problem. So what is she building? Is she building something frivolous? Is she building something functional? Is she building... She have plans of her own for some kind of conquest? Because the thing about a lyre is it can do so much. Like, it is a tool of mass creation. Maybe she's trying to have an artificer duplicate the lyre so that she can have one of her own. And maybe that's a complicated proposition. Okay, I like that. So... Okay, so the Lyre of Building is a human artifact. It was created by human wizards. And let's say that in order to fully function, a Lyre of Building needs to have a wizard sacrificed into it to infuse it with the vital magic it needs to create, because a Lyre of Building has the potential for creating things that is beyond like a standard artifact. So what if the Summer Queen asks, without, revealing her intention, that Daria and Arcus trade her a wizard for the lyre back? Exactly. Some kind of blood sacrifice. This is what I'm thinking. I kind of like this. It's a little bit creepy, but fun. So that implies that the Lyre of Building that Tessarion owns has the blood/soul of a living being attached to it. So is it a sentient item? If so, we need to figure out its personality and, like, its willingness to work with people or not work with people or anything like that, because it's gonna end up being an important NPC for the next little while. Hmm. It's a picky one. If it works for the person, they have to be worthy in a way. Yes. All the souls, yes. Perhaps it gives the advice it thinks the players want to hear. I'm your huckleberry. Yes, you are. I was just thinking that it could be funny. It has no real power, but you hear a voice saying, "You can for sure jump that 40-foot gap." Okay, so I've been playing with the, I forget who made it now, the Ordium Excellentis or something, the D10,000 Wild Magic Surge chart that's available online for Daria's Wild Magic Surges, because the chart that's in the PHB is just not grand enough, in my opinion, for a Wild Magic user. I wanted more random things. And at one point, she rolled that her cloak gained sentience and did nothing but pay her compliments for 10 minutes. And so it was just freaking hysterical. This cloak is like, "You can do it. I believe in you." And Charles is like, "What is happening right now? Like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard." I was like, "I kind of love it." Like, it is absolutely ridiculous and completely benign, but so funny. Made me very happy. It was just redonkulous. I want that cloak too, right? I mean, who doesn't want to have their ego stoked a little bit when they're feeling low? Yep, plus 30 to confidence, indeed. Okay, so if this Lyre of Building needs a soul, then we have 2 questions to figure out. We need to figure out an NPC that they could go and find who's a wizard that could ultimately be sacrificed to this Lyre of Building that the queen is building. And we need to know who is the soul of the NPC that got sacrificed into the Lyre of Building that Tessarian has, or that the queen currently has of Tessarians, um, to figure, because that's going to be an NPC that the characters are actually going to have to interact with. So, which one do we want to start with? Because both of them need doing. Um, I'm just going to run to the washroom really quick. I will be right back. Post in the chat which one we should start with. Hi, Sax. Hi, baby boy. dog. You know, I call him baby dog, but he's so big. Off to see the wizard? Okay. Let's go find us a wizard. All right, so you want him to be a dark wizard, Steph, so they can feel justified in taking out a dark wizard? All right. Is our wizard male, female, non-binary, or what? Male? Okay. He's a lizard wizard? Okay. I like this. Lizardkin. What kind of style of lizard? You were away from the board. Okay. We are currently developing a wizard NPC that can be wandering in the Feywild that needs to be recruited to be sacrificed to the second Lyre of Building that the queen is trying to create. I want to make it so that Arcus and Daria don't realize that this person is intended to be a sacrifice. That this is just somebody that they need to collect. Is he Dr. Frankenfurter? Yes. Why not? That would be amazing. Although I'm not sure that Lisa's seen Rocky Horror, so I have no idea if she'd get the reference. Oh man, now I gotta find out, because if she hasn't seen it, I know what we're doing for Halloween. Lizardkin. Doesn't matter. I mean, that's true. It doesn't matter ultimately. Okay. Lizardkin, what kind of name are we dealing with here? Franken, okay. Mocha the Joker. Franken Joker. All right. How old is he? I'm gonna assign an age, or are we gonna roll some dice? Is he a Komodo? Sure. Komodo dragon. Is he bipedal? I think he's bipedal. $90 or roll? Okay, Stephanie's saying 90. Michael's saying roll. Let's see what we got here. Mike, I can show you the dice that I have for Avalyn because they're super pretty. These are not them. These are something else. 97, Steph. Does 97 work for you? A monitor lizard. Yeah, a monitor could be fun. Okay, so I'm going to show Mike my dice really quick. Just a second. So I don't know if you can see them very well. Come on, focus, camera. They are a very pale green with cream and white and gold. And they are just so freaking gorgeous. I love them so much. So yeah, these are Avalyn's dice. They make me very happy. All right, so yeah, they're like a bone color with quartz effects. The resin is a very, very pale green. So when you can see deep into the dice, there's this beautiful, like, pale sea green color going on. Slightly more Kelly green than sea green, but so, so pretty. They look way more beautiful in real life, the way the light catches them and stuff. They're gorgeous. They make me happy. These ones are cute too. These are Borealis smoke. So they're kind of silvery, shiny with the black. So they're fun. Apparently the original Smoke Borealis is no longer in production because the pigment that they were using to create the sparkle is now being used to make the euro. So all the demand for it has been redirected to printing money. So they can't use the sparkle in dice anymore, which I just thought was really fascinating. So I'd like to find an original set of these with the original pigment in them, but that could be expensive now. He's a man-eater. All right. Wizard man-eater. Man-eater. Okay. Komodo dragon, monitor lizard. So is he a cannibal? Because we can totally make that happen. Bipedal, he's a cannibal. Meat eater. He's evil. Okay. Oh, here it comes. Yeah. He doesn't digest them, just eats them. Is he chaotic evil, neutral evil, lawful evil? But he does swallow. Lawful implies that he has a plan. Chaotic implies that he's just there to start shit. It's not easy having a good time. No, it's not easy having a good time. He's just fabulous. All fabulous is all the alignment we need. Okay. Meat eater. Jazz hands. Is he from the Feywild or is he lost there? He's lost. Okay. Trying to find his way back. Okay. Precisely where he needs to. Oh yeah, we said that he was 97. What is the average lifespan of a bipedal cannibal Komodo dragon monitor lizard man? Is he old? Is he middle-aged? Is he young? How spry is he? He's metal. Like physically metal or metal in his soul, like a hard rocker? Metal knows no age. Okay, I like that. Living metal. No, maybe he's cursed. I like that maybe he's cursed. You kid, but don't listen to you. No, I like the idea that he's living metal. That kind of like harkens back to some of my Draken stuff. Um, so he'll be difficult to fight and subdue. What template can I use for that? Steel Golem? This is Devils. Golem, Flesh Golem, Stone Golem, Iron Golem. Challenge rating 16. Okay. I want burritos. Feed me burritos. So many options. Handy day. What is handy day, Mike? Ah, I follow. Much more casual and inclusive than steak and blowjob day. It's legit. It's totally legit. Stephanie, you're dirty. I mean, do you? I'm not complaining. Not shaming. None of that. You will deny everything, hey, and blame society. I mean, society is a really easy thing to blame right now. Okay, this guy's hunger for other people, how profound is it? Like, if Daria and Arcus go and encounter him, are they at risk of being eaten? Society is to blame for a lot of things. Hunger for men. So he's not interested in eating Daria. He's interested in eating Arcus. Okay. All right, so he's hungry and thirsty. How is he likely to talk and exchange pleasantries, or is he just going to attack and try to eat? I need to determine how he's going to react to them. I think he wants to find his way out and go home. I think that's his priority. Talk to bring in closer and then jump. Okay. So he can be subtle. Can be subtle. Setting up opportunities for attacking. Good conversationalist. Intelligent. Let's roll some stats for this guy. D6s, where are you? So the way that I roll stats is 3d6, the lowest becomes a 6. So just so everybody knows what I'm doing. So 12, 13, 14, 15. Six and 4 is 10, another 15. 14. Oof. 13. This guy does not have the best stats. 12 and 4 is 16. That's better. 13. All right. Important call about a van. That's fair. Like Shere Khan. Okay, I like that idea. Shere Khan. He is a wizard, so intelligence is going to be his highest. Constitution. Dexterity. Wisdom. Charisma. Strength. Okay. What level is this guy? Michael had a watch party for something the other night. You found a way to do that, didn't you, Mike? We could try to watch a movie together. Perhaps he gains a bonus in dex when it's particularly hot outside, like cold-blooded animals. That's fun. You'd recommend Facebook? Well, we could try. Could you do it through a screen share on Discord, maybe? Not so well. Okay. I know nothing about these things, so tried that. Yeah, I figured you probably had. All right. Spellcasting, arcane recovery. Do I have a character sheet around here somewhere? Why don't I just do this on D&D Beyond? Glasses. All right, his name is Joka Franken. Milestone. Manual. Public. He is Dragonborn. Silver. Damage resistance. Class. Wizard. Add class. Proficiencies. Insight. Arcana. What level is he, friends? He should be fairly powerful. Manual. Strength we said was a 14. Dexterity was a 15. Constitution was a 15. Intelligence was a 16. Charisma was a 13. Wisdom was a 13. Charisma was a 13. Okay, that works for me. Description is fine. He was a criminal / spy. Dragon chest, criminal contact, that's all fine. Equipment. Dagger, arcane focus, explorer's pack. Crowbar, all of that. Add items. Okay. Perfect. Go to builder. Export to PDF. Oh, he doesn't have any weapons. I should fix that. Equipment, add items, weapons. You have a crossbow, dagger of venom, quarterstaff +2. Okay, that should be better. Nope. Why do I have no weapons in here? There we go. Go to builder. And I'll fight with this later. But his charm is deadly. Indeed, indeed. Okay, so I still need to pick spells for him and figure out why his weapons are not showing up in the digital. And I will do that after. All right, so make a note here. All right. So who's in the Lyre of Building that currently exists? Tessarian's lyre. Well, we know it's a wizard. We'll say they were human. Male. What level were they? Level 6. Need a name. Kaden. No, that's too close to Kaiden. Melon. Bedrock. Rashomon? I like that. Rashomon. Let's do that. How old was he? "16. That seems pretty young. 81? That seems a little more reasonable. How long has he been in the Lyre? If he was 81 at the time of the sacrifice, how long has he been in this artifact? Don't know. Okay. Maybe he goes dormant between building sessions, so that's partly why he doesn't know what's going on. Dormant. Can't see or hear. Unless being specifically wielded. Enough time to finish the internet twice. That is a very long time. um, he was a specialist in architecture. Michael, I have a question, but it's not related to what I'm working on. It's related to our game. Um, do you remember the squirrel that was on the doorway that Evelyn went through the very first time she encountered the White Duke's court? Was it real and the White Duke just turned it into wood to celebrate the doorway, or was it a carving? Because she was wondering about that, and I am wondering about that because, yes. He has existed since his body was created using the living metal taken by force from the melting down of other evil metal creations. So this lyre was the attempt to make something good out of other evil things. Okay. The body. You're inclined to leave me hanging. You're cruel, sir. Very cruel. Okay, I like that, Pat. And because it was created out of evil, um, it takes skill check to wield it if you're good. You got your custom journals? That's exciting. Can't wait to see what you do with them now. I don't think I know that song, Michael. There is a peculiar relationship between certain forms of cruelty and desire, isn't there? Yep. That's a thing. True story. So there's a tension between Rashomon, who is good, trapped in an evil, tainted object. Maybe his sanity is slowly corroding. Due to the exposure of evil. Your picture froze. Drinking coffee and keeping the nothing at bay. Also his neck. 10,000 years can give you such a crick in the neck. The object acts in the same manner as the Dementors. Okay. The lyre brings out unnameable worst fears in proximity. Roll a DC 18. What's a fear save? Charisma? Success means immune to fear for 24 hours. Failure means can't approach or wield for 24 hours. Or wisdom, yeah. Charisma or wisdom. Okay, so what I wrote was the lyre brings out unnameable worst fears in its proximity. Roll a DC 18 charisma or wisdom save to realize it's coming from the lyre. Success means immune to fear for 24 hours. Failure means you can't approach or wield for the next 24 hours. So this means that there could be, like, when they're trying to use it, consequences for that that include taking longer to achieve their goal. And maybe there's a time limit for how long it can be out of the Feywild without starting to break down. Oh, awesome. I'm excited to see what you're going to do with those, Pat. Everything is coming up, Pat. That's excellent. I'm very happy for you. How long can the lyre be outside of the Feywild before it starts to lose its power? Vexian requires how much work to repair? 3 days? Okay, so what about this? They need to try to get this Lyre of Building away from the Summer Queen. It is on loan to the Summer Queen by Tessarian, but you don't really ask for something back from the Queen. So if they succeed on this one path that I've set forward where they would be allowed to ask for it back from the Queen, then great. If not, they have to try and steal it out from under her, which gives us a heist situation. Once the heist situation is in play, the Queen is going to mobilize her guard in order to try and get it back and punish these impudent mortals who have gotten away with something of hers, which will mobilize most of the Feywild in the Summer Court area to looking for them. Say they get the lyre out of the Feywild and they get it back to Vexian's Tower. They can work on Vexian's Tower for 3 days before they need to return the lyre to the Feywild, at which point they would need to try to avoid the patrols of the Queen long enough to recharge it. Does it take 3 days to recharge once it's in the Feywild and we're balancing 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days? Or how do we want to do that recharge thing? Or is it only ever just 3 days, one use, and what's done is done? Because I do kind of want to set it up that this is like the last time this lyre is going to be used before completely crumbling into oblivion. I don't want it to be an artifact that they have recourse to over and over again. I think that would break the game. It requires the amount of time it takes for a Fey hourglass to empty or some such thing. That's fascinating. Slightly recharged with the material world's moonlight. Okay. Okay. So where are they going to come up with a Fey hourglass? Because they're going to need to know. The chinwag with the census man. What did you say to the census man? Press negotiation. You were negotiating with the census man? I am confused. Whenever you need dedicated public servant. Yes. I drew a brooch last year during Inktober. Where is that sketchbook? I have an idea for it now. This one. So, you just can't spell to save your life? All right, I've never noticed that before. So what if this brooch is the Fey hourglass? What if the moon phases constantly rotate and tick? Showing time cycles changing. Okay, cool. Okay. Sometimes I draws really gross. These are Inktober sketches, so I spent a lot of time doing them. Most of the time I draw like crap and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Flip of a Fey hourglass. Brooch. Drawing. 2019 Inktober. The moon phases tick like a clock to show time passing. I love the white too. I did this entire set of sketches with just the tan paper, the black and the white, and really, really loved how it turned out. So I'm thinking of doing the same thing this year and keeping it all in this book. That was as far as I got, was number 20 last year. So yeah, I was pretty happy with most of these last year. I think that they went okay. I really love this one. This is one of my favorites. Absolutely love it. The white is really fun too because it's a thick ink, and so it stands up from the page when you run your fingers over it, whereas the microns really don't. So just texturally, I found that really interesting. But yeah, this is what I'll use. That will make sense. All right, so how many recharges do we give it before it breaks? Or do we roll a percentage and there's like, say, 4 checks that if they roll over or under a certain percentage, it's fine. Otherwise it breaks. Yes, I can link you white pens. D6? D6 how? Expand, please. Uniball Signia. It's too long. Give me a shorter link. No, that black ink. Why can't I have short links? Michael, I'm going to send it to you on Facebook because I can't post the link in YouTube. Okay, start at DC 12. Okay, so what I wrote is, yes, failure means it's seized for a day, 2 failures means it's sundered. I had it for 3 failures, but we can do that. 1, 2 wounds. Lyre breaks and can't be repaired. Are the moons of the failed and the material world one and the same? No, they're not. Yeah, if they fail out of the gate, let them have the first one. That was kind of my thought too. I don't want them to be completely like broken in this regard. The moons of the Feywild and the material world are not the same. One of the moons of the Feywild is currently locked in its location because of one of Daria's wild magic surges. I need to figure out how long that's going to last for and what the condition is for it getting unlocked. I think it's a wish spell, which they don't have access to right now. But they also don't know that she's responsible for that. They don't even really understand that it happened yet. So that's going to be interesting to figure out. Yeah, stick with the 3, because I think 3 is a good number. 3 days, 3 wounds. Yeah. So I don't know what happened, but I lost my original window for running this. Oh, there it is. Found it again. Excellent. Okay, great. So now I can tell how long I've been running for. Okay, so 3 wounds, 3 fails goes up by 2 each time. That helps with that. Are there any ways for them to get... Okay, standing by. I'm go. Okay. Did everything freeze up again? Not for you, Laura? Okay. But you're on your phone. All right. You are still here. Thank you, love. For you, it did, Pat? Okay. Well, we're just about at the 2-hour mark. Do you guys want to keep going today or should we wrap it? I'm glad you don't stand for it, Pat. You shouldn't. Never ever. Before John, if the muse calls. I think I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm ready to eat. So, might be that time. All right, friends, let's call it then. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning and helping me work on this stuff. I appreciate it. I will let you know how it goes tonight if we end up playing or not. Hopefully, something works well. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's sunny here. I hope you have good weather where you are and a delicious beverage at some point. And we'll talk to you all again soon. All right. Love you. Bye.